Welcome back, Ytpc. Uncle Willie coming to you once again from the Mobile Lounge. I was just sitting here a moment ago, a couple of minutes ago, and sort of like zenned out. Two military style helicopters just came over from that way, which is sort of northwest from me, and they were heading like southeast. They are coming from the direction of Camp David, and they were flying towards the direction of Washington, D.C. I used to live like 5 minutes from Camp David in Emmitsburg, Maryland. Now I live in Hagerstown, but I'm like a little over an hour and 20 minutes from D.C. So we see who knows who's into helicopters, but we see them going back and forth periodically. I was sitting here zenning out, watching and just, wondering and daydreaming. Sitting there smoking my pipe, got it hot. So letting it cool down a little bit. So in it is some 2021 Carolina Red Flake with Perique. And we jump right into it. I'm going to do a review. I don't do reviews, but we can call it one. The 10 note, it's been opened. Here we go. The release date's August 21. The stamp on the bottom says 10/21. So I got it when it was released. As y'all know, it sold out in most places. I think Pipes and Cigars still has some. But it's been 5-6 months, so it's been in a jar for that long. So the jar note, the 10 note, it still is like a barnyard, but it's like a hay grass smell. I don't really smell the Perique in the background. I just smell the Virginias, which the Virginias are from 2020 crop, and so is the Perique. And the Perique is a St. James Parish Perique. So they're both 2020 crop, no aged stuff in it, but they smoke like they're aged. To me, they are very good. It comes in a broken flake, of course. The room note, it's not offensive. My wife doesn't smoke, but she was around me when I was smoking it before, and she said it's not too bad. So for a non-smoker, it's tolerable at most. They would probably rather not be around it, but another pipe smoker be like, what the hell, man? Carry on. The moisture level, if I remember right when I opened it, it was pretty close to being perfect. It just needed a few minutes drying time, if any. If you didn't dry it, you probably had a couple more relights more so than letting it dry out. I pulled out a big handful. I've got a jar that's got like 4 tins in it that I just dumped in there from the beginning and shook them up. I opened 4 tins and like a couple thousand numbers off just to see how they looked through the process of when they were tinning it. So I did like a tin from 12,000 and a tin from 9,000. That way I could see if they were like consistent with their, and it was. So I take it to shake it up every so often and open it, let it air out a little bit. So it's, to me, it's perfect right out of my jar. When I light it up, I can just go with it. Unless I get it hot, then I gotta let the pipe cool down. Speaking of the pipe, it's a Shake Home Skipper. Gold accent, brass, gold. It looks goldish to me, more gold than brass. It says 41, I don't know what that means. But it's the Skipper line. Stem, you can't really, well, you can a little bit, I guess. Stem's pretty cool looking. I'm a sucker for brown and tan stems, and that's what got me on this one. So, the mechanics of it, so to speak. Very smooth, very good. It's full flavor, but it's not full, like kick your ass full. It's not nowhere near that. Full flavor. The Perique comes in on the retro hell very nice. It is just a little spice in the background. Not enough to burn like some Periques will burn your nose when you retro hell. Could this be an all-day smoke? For some, yes. If you're a vapor fan, I would say yes, because when I first cracked the tin, I smoked it like 3 or 4 bowls a day for like three days, maybe 4 days in a row. So I smoked like 15 bowls within 3 or 4 days. I didn't get burnt out on it. I enjoyed it. I smoked it in different pipes, and same result in all my pipes. It's a very good tobacco. So there you go. Uncle Willie did a review. So some of you may notice that I had a video up and the comments were cut off on it. So I deleted it and then reloaded the same video. And when I was uploading the video, I marked it as being made for kids. Well, YouTube saw that. I guess they watched the video and saw it wasn't made for kids, so they turned off the commenting on it. So that's why it was like that for a couple days. Now, if you follow me, if you're one of the 40, yep, I'm up to 40. If you're one of the 40 and you went back and watched it again, you can comment if you want to. So that was a big oops for me. Now I know to not safe for kids. And back to this real quick. There was a guy in one of the groups I'm in said that he thought this, he said, am I the only one that thinks that this Carolina Red Flake is like the Diet Coke of vapors? So I hit him right then and said, hell, I love Diet Coke. If you're not into it, send it to me. He sent it to me, almost a full tin. So I dumped that into the jar, what I had, and just shook it up and been smoking out of it ever since. The tin says October. I can't remember when, if it was, but the release date was August. So anyway, that's where that is. Had to go to Sam's a little while ago. I was out of cups. Nowhere has any freaking cups. I like the 12 ounce. This is 16 ounce. I had to go Sam's to finally find some cups. I usually buy a pack that's got like, I think 20 in it or something like that. Fits nicely underneath my cabinet, underneath the coffee maker. Well, of course at Sam's I had to get 70 of them, and they're 16 ounce, which it really wasn't that bad. 16 ounces is usually a little bit more than I want at one time, but if I can drink it fast enough and don't get cold, it's all good. Coffee and pipe ain't much better. So yeah, Sam's wasn't too bad. I guess since it was already what, the 9th now, I guess the big hurrah was last week during the 1st, when everybody's debit card reloaded. I have mixed feelings about that, but that's all for another video for another time. If you haven't had any of the Carolina Red Flake with Perique, I would say try to get some. There might be some available at some places. I think it's worth a try, even if you have to flip-flop something and try to get some from somebody in another group. So if you can get it, get it. If not, it's no big deal. I mean, it's nothing spectacular. And trying to keep this under 10 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and squeeze out right now and tell you to Until next time, stuff them and puff them.